Good evening, everyone. My name is Rauda Bahnasi, and I'm currently studying biomedical engineering here at CUQ Ulster University. I will also be one of your MCs for tonight's event. Before we begin, I would like to start with a quick health and safety reminder. In the event of an emergency evacuation, the alarm will sound first, followed by a broadcasted evacuation message. If you hear that message, please remain calm and stop all activities immediately. Please do not collect or pack any belongings. Do not run, push, or obstruct others. Follow the emergency exit signs closest to you and do not use the elevators. Our trained fire wardens will be positioned throughout the venue to guide you to the designated assembly point. Once outside, please remain at the assembly point and wait for instructions. Do not leave the assembly point and do not re-enter the building until you are cleared to do so by the fire warden or emergency services. Thank you for your attention and please enjoy the program.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TEDxCUQ Ulster University at City University, Qatar. My name is Michael Nimmo, Senior Lecturer in English and Foundation Studies here at CUQ, and the second of your MCs for tonight's event. Thank you for being here with us tonight. TEDx is built on the idea of sharing ideas worth spreading, ideas that challenge the way we think, inspire new perspectives, and spark meaningful conversations. This year's TEDx Talk theme is Built by Choice. This theme is a reminder that the future isn't something that simply happens to us. It's shaped by the decisions we make, the values we prioritize, and the systems we choose to build. Tonight, you'll hear from a lineup of speakers with diverse backgrounds and powerful stories, each offering a unique perspective connected to our theme. Before we begin, a quick note to help the program run smoothly. We kindly ask that you remain seated throughout the talks and keep your phones on silent during the program. At the end of the talks, we'll invite you to stay a little longer to continue the conversation during our networking reception. By following these protocols, we can make this evening engaging and memorable for everyone. Thank you. To open tonight's program, we're pleased to welcome our first speaker, Humaira Chowdhury, an international broadcaster, presenter, UN moderator, and the founder of Humaira Media LLC. With over 20 years of experience across major global newsrooms, she's known for guiding conversations that connect power, policy, and people. Her topic is Built by Choice. The story you repeat becomes the life you lead. Exploring how the small decisions and stories we repeat every day shape the way we lead, especially under pressure. Please welcome Humaira Chowdhury to the stage.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Firstly, very lively audience, I love that. Firstly, I'd actually like to thank the organisers for inviting me to be here. It's a real honour and it's a privilege to be your first speaker today. Now, I'd like to actually start with you. How many of you here have ever said, I'll wait until things have calmed down. I'll start next week, next month, maybe even next year. Can I get a show of hands? And quite a few of you. Same here. I learnt the hard way that our lives don't change in big cinematic moments. They change with the quiet sentences we say to ourselves. People say you are what you eat, but I say you are what you think. The story that you repeat becomes the life that you lead. Thank you. It's a script. It's a script that we tell ourselves. I was very fortunate when I was a little younger. I knew from a very early age that I wanted to be a journalist, that I wanted to tell people's stories, I wanted to share their experiences and their lives with the world. I was fortunate enough to know that, and because I knew that at a very young age, that decision determined every choice that I made in my life. And those choices, whether it was deciding what university I wanted to study at, or what subjects I wanted to choose, or where I would come to live and to work, that built the life that I'm leading now. So it's the script that you tell yourself, it's the choices that you make. And those choices, that script, determines your behavior, and it impacts your decisions. And those decisions eventually become the life that you lead. But choice is practiced. I learned over time that many people think choice is one brave leap. But leadership is built in tiny rehearsals. It's what we choose to postpone. It's what we choose to tolerate. It's the yes that we say when we mean to say no. Choice is built on small daily decisions. It's what we allow, what we commit to, what we prioritize. And I learned that choice isn't a big moment. It's not the big promotion, the big house, the big car, the big holiday. It's what we choose to build. It's the decisions that we make that eventually become the life that we lead, and one that we build by choice. And on paper, I made great choices. I was successful, I was achieving, I was delivering, people were clapping. But it very quickly began to feel like a game of chess. I was playing it safe. I realized very quickly that other people were choosing what I could and couldn't do with my career. It was their decisions, their choices, and I effectively became a character in my own story, but it wasn't a story that I was writing. So I decided that I wanted to build a life on my own terms. I refused to play it safe, and I started making my own choices and choosing my moves. Then I hit a turning point. I had a moment of truth, that niggling feeling that you have in the core and the pit of your stomach. And I realized I needed to make some changes. Have you guys ever looked successful on the outside, but felt exhausted on the inside? Quite a few people nodding there. 4 years ago, I decided that I wanted to choose my own story. I'd proved myself to the big networks. I had worked tirelessly for decades, jumping through hoops, bending over backwards, working every shift that you could imagine. And I'd got tired of proving myself. And then I did the unthinkable. I decided that I wanted to write my own story. I wanted to choose my own path. I wanted to build my own table and sit at my own chair. And if there wasn't a table, I was absolutely determined to build one. Because it was time to choose me. The girl that you saw earlier with her big hair and even bigger ideas. It was time to choose her dreams. When I reached that moment, and it took me a while to get there, but once I got there, the universe chose me. I got the big contracts. I got the recognition. I stood on global stages. And in those high pressure moments, I needed a North Star, my own North Star, not a title, not an organization, but a moment that defined it for me. Some people have a mantra, other people have affirmations. For me, it was a sentence. And when I woke up in the morning, I would say, "Today is my day." And when I repeated that to myself, I made different choices. That's enough about me. I'd like to do something for you now. I'd like all of you to take 10 seconds just in your head. Think about, and you don't have to share this, don't worry. Think about a moment where you've postponed a decision, or you've reached a crossroad, or you've hit a boundary. And I want you to put that scenario in your mind and think how you would finish this sentence. So you start with, "I'm a leader who, ... I choose even when, because I value," whatever that may be. And when you put that scenario in your mind and in your head, it takes practice. You decide what's important to you. So for me, that sentence goes something like, "I'm the kind of leader who chooses clarity over applause, even when things get uncomfortable, because I value peace and integrity." What I've learned in my career is when you have your standards inevitably become your life, the life that you choose to lead. Your story becomes your standards become your life. And the story that you repeat to yourself is the life that you lead, built by choice. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I don't know if that was 12 minutes.
Thank you, Humaira, for that inspiring talk. Now next, please welcome Mr. Ibrahim Bakr, co-founder of Manjam Capital and a strategic advisor working at the intersection of digital transformation, change management, and ethical innovation. His topic is, what happens when values lead the way? Exploring what changes when we put human values, not speed or scale, at the center of decision-making, especially in finance and technology. Please welcome Mr. Ibrahim Bakr to the stage.
Or anyone. I see some face. It's quite strong, and you definitely can't read that. I was like, yeah, forget about that. Did it make sense? I wasn't sure. It makes sense to me.
Assalamu alaikum.
But
Hello, everybody. You can hear me, right? Little bit more. Everybody is giving different instructions, so sorry. Now is better. I don't know how to play this. Maybe some technical support. Hello, help. Backstage. I don't know, there is only 2 clicks. And then, to start.
No, 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 no! I don't have any more money! My job sucks right now, please! I'll have more money next month! You can't take my house!
Is that your signature?
Oh, okay, well, just help me work something out, okay? I mean, you said I'm a good credit guy, right? I mean, hey, wait! My dog is in there! No, don't take my dream!
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Just came last week from Davos, the World Economic Forum. People there are discussing really interesting matters that everybody repeating everywhere in the world. Everywhere we go, at the Web Summit, in the events, in the roundtable discussions, in the think tanks, everybody is talking about this agenda for 2026. I will tell you something. They are discussing matters related to agentic AI, tokenization. Let's tokenize everything. Let's digitize everything. We live in the digital era. So let's make everything digital. It's much better for us. That is the second point on the agenda. The third one is the digital identity. Let's have a digital identity for each one of us. So technically, you are represented in a digital identity. Maybe we will not be, maybe it's really beautiful. We don't need any passports, any documents anymore. Your face is your ID when you're leaving the country or entering another country. Even the payments, very soon, when we go to the shop, you don't have to show any card or NFC or anything. Your face will detect the amount from your account. I don't want to go through this. I prepared something completely different than all this. That there is another terminology people are discussing at Davos I really would like to mention here. It's called transhuman. Google it, read about it, or ask ChatGPT, whatever tool you use. But today, we just watched a story about a choice. A choice many people make believing it will bring stability and safety and a better life. It did not begin with bad intentions. It was really good intentions in the beginning. It began with trust. And over time, that trust slowly turned into pressure, as we all see. Decisions were no longer made freely. I think we whoever in the investment and in the technology and in the digital transformation business knows the terminology of FOMO, fear of missing out. Somehow, we all have that. We are afraid that something going on the planet we miss, although we know that we cannot catch everything. Decisions were not made to survive. Now, if we want to make a decision, we have to think that I want to make this decision so I do not lose everything. Because now we are talking about the speed where everybody, whether it's a government or an organization or an individual who really is feeling in a speed race, transforming because we want to reserve our position in the future that we own. This story is not really about alone. That's not what I meant at all. It's about what happens when systems grow more powerful than the people inside them. Systems represented in a bank or an AI tool, it is whatever we built as human to serve us. The most dangerous moment in any system is not when it fails, but when people stop feeling they still have a choice. I work at intersection of technology, finance, and change management. I deal with decision makers. And across very different systems, I kept noticing the same pattern over and over and over. No matter where is the region, no matter what is the project or system we are working on, the biggest risks were never technical at all. They were always human. Let me be very clear from the beginning. I am optimistic about AI. I believe AI will help us solve many problems in health, in education, in accessibility, in many opportunities that we will see in the future, and we are seeing every day. This is not a question of whether powerful systems should exist or not. It's a question of how we choose to lead them. It is our choice. And how we protect human agency within them. Technology is neutral. This is how I see it. It depends who is designing this technology. AI does not remove responsibility, and tokenization does not remove ethics. Automation does not remove choice. So on, every day we will see new technologies, and these emerging technologies will keep evolving. But these systems do not decide who we are. In fact, they amplify who we already are. The more powerful our tools become, the higher the standard of ethical leadership we need. That is what we need. Every system runs on values, whether it's written or most of the time not written. When values are unclear, systems default speed, scale, convenience. That's how systems think. They decide what we build. The values, I mean. When values guide us, the spreadsheets stops helping. They decide what we build and what we are disciplined enough not to build. It's our choice. Systems do not collapse overnight. They drift. One tiny shortcut, one exception, one habit repeated over and over until it becomes a culture. Before technology shapes society, habits shape technology. Culture is what happens when habits go unquestioned. Before we talk about leading organizations or guiding intelligent machines, there is a harder question we often avoid, to be very honest and frank with you. Can we lead ourselves? That is the magic question. That is the question I believe we should ask. We should ask as builders, as designers, as users, as humans at the end of the day, designing systems that are there to help us and make our life more easy, more beautiful. Because if we struggle to lead our attention, our impulses, or our reactions under pressure, then we shouldn't be surprised when the systems we build reflect that struggle. AI does not fail us. That is the result I reach to personally. It reflects us. I once worked on a system. I once worked on a system that could scale very fast. In a blockchain, Web3, crypto, you know how fast it is. You know how fast people get rich and get poor. You know how this cycle goes. It's very quick, very fast as the AI evolving. Technically, everything was perfect, but something felt off in the bottom of our hearts. The team who was working there. Not because of the technology, but because of how quickly we were moving. Without fully understanding the human consequences. Everybody in the industry was like, why don't you launch your token? Why don't you do this? People are getting rich overnight. But there was something off about that. So we paused. This pause cost time and cost momentum. But it taught us something simple and powerful. The hardest system to lead is yourself. That was the message I wanted to deliver. Discipline is not about slowing innovation, specifically talking to the entrepreneurs and to the regulators, our friends from those areas. It's about earning the right to scale it. Earning the right to scale it. You have to earn the right to scale if you want people to trust your idea or your product or your project or whatever solution you are providing. The ability to pause before accelerating is magic. Responsible innovation is not about stopping progress. It's about scaling trust at the same pace as technology. That's the hard part. Tomorrow morning, many of us will wake up and reach for our phones before we reach to ourselves, because we want to catch up what's going on in the world. Leadership begins in that moment. In the smallest, quietest decision that you have to make. That is the choices we have to focus on. That protect our attention, protect our judgment, protect our sense of agency. That is the real value that we are producing. The story we watched at the beginning did not end in loss because technology existed. It ended in loss when human agency slowly disappeared. The future will absolutely be built with AI. We have to agree on that. The real question is whether we will meet that future with clarity, self-leadership, and values strong enough to keep people in control of their lives. The future is not built by technology alone. The future is built by the quality of choices we are disciplined enough to repeat over and over again. And in a world of increasingly intelligent system, leadership exists to protect human agency. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibrahim, for that thought-provoking talk. Our next speaker, Katina Ahian, founder and CEO of Kingdom Consult, and a leader in sustainability and circular economy strategy. She also serves as a board member of the ICC Qatar Low Carbon Energy Transition Working Group. Her topic is How I Left Comfort to Build Kingdom Consult, sharing how intentional choices backed by resilience and purpose can turn ideas into measurable impact. Please welcome Katina Ahian to the stage.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for all joining us today. My name is Katina Ahian. I'm the CEO and the founder of Kingdom Consult, a very niche boutique consultancy that are specialized in sustainability and circular economy. We work across Europe, Middle East, of course, and emerging market. Built by choice is it's a topic that is very close to my heart. Allow me to take this opportunity and thank the organizers, Thabit, and all the team for hosting me today on this TEDx platform and CUQ Ulster University. It's an honor for me to be here, though I cannot see you a lot, but I mean, I'm trying too bright. So it means a lot to me as it mirrors my, I can say, 30 years of journey of work. Built by choice. It's really talks to me directly. And when I received the invitation, I just, without hesitation, I said, I want to really come here and share this with you. Most people believe their lives are shaped by opportunity, by luck, by time, by people, by circumstances. But after 30 years of experience, I came to a conclusion that no, it's not by luck, it's not by timing, it's not by our bosses, it's not by a chance, it's by choice, actually. And this conclusion came late in my life, but I mean, at the end, I figured it out. I believe our lives are really shaped by our choice. Whatever we choose, we become. Not the loud choices that we do. Those choices actually usually comes quietly, and it comes when no one is watching, when no one is applauding. Those choices come when we are in a very, very deep quiet. These are the choices that define who we are becoming. Every meaningful life begins when comfort and conscience collide. We are rarely taught to honor these moments. Instead, since our childhood, school, university, work, we are taught to seek approval, validation. Whether from your parents, we seek validation from our bosses, we seek validation from society, we seek approval. We're always on a constant seek for an outside approval, from an outside validation, while it's really, it's us, it's inside. Yet the real impact begins the moment we decide to stop following and stop being comfortable and start building what is true inside our own thoughts. Comfort, as you know, is a very big word, especially the people that lives in Qatar. I mean, we are in a very heaven comfort zone. So comfort is one of the most, can I say, convincing illusions of success. It tells us that stability equals intelligence, that predictability equals wisdom, and that fitting into existing system means we have made it. Okay, we have validation, we fit in the system, we have a great job, we have a great position, everything is okay, we're successful. So we fit in the system, it means that we are really have made it. But comfort is seductive and comfort is addictive because it removes risk or the illusion of risk. Yeah? But it also, you know what it removes? While it removes your risk somehow, it removes growth. It removes creativity. It removes innovation. But also, and slowly, it can remove the truth of who you are. Comfort never asks who you are becoming. It only asks whether you fit or no in the system. Over time, many people become successful on paper, on LinkedIn. We have the most glorious CV. We have the most glorious certificates. Yet deeply, many successful people misaligned from inside because comfort disconnects us from purpose while convincing us we are doing the right thing. From the outside, my life looks successful. I went from public sector to private sector to NGOs, you name it. I have been advising to the ministry. I have been into many industries until I had the chance 7 years or 8 years back to tackle into sustainability with the Supreme Committee at the FIFA 2022. So I had the chance to really come face to face with sustainability. I mean, 8 years back, no one heard about it, or at least, I mean, and this is where it started. So I had all kind of senior roles, institution, you name it, stability, of course. But inside, there was always something that is bothering me. And I always had this dream of, it's like, I want to do my own thing. And it's like, no, you can't do. We have food to put on the table. We have to have responsibilities. So, you know, it's like this dilemma when you want to go and then something is shutting you down. I realized I was talking about sustainability also. I mean, we've done a lot of things during the FIFA 2021. We left a huge legacy, not only me, of course, I mean, with the whole team on, we are proud to say that that was the most sustainable FIFA World Cup football. But still, we were talking about sustainability and without building any solid, solid path. Explaining the future without changing reality. So we were talking and talking, sustainability, I mean, nothing was concrete. You could feel it into your bone, helping system to survive even when I could feel their limits. And one question kept repeating in my mind. If I knew this system, which was bothering me a lot, was broken, why I was still helping surviving it. One day I was driving, actually. I'm going to tell you a small story, where was the twist? So one day I was driving from Doha to the industrial area. I'm sure many of you knows it. At the time, I was advising for a recycling factory, which I got involved also. And it was a long drive and quiet, all by myself, driving. It takes around 45 minutes to reach from Doha to industrial area. And then I started really having those thoughts. And I was just thinking, and suddenly I got very outraged. Not at the people, not at the factory. I suddenly became outraged at the system and at myself. I was thinking, it's like years of advising, years of explaining, and yet nothing was truly changing. For me, it was my own thought. That drive was not a commute. It was the beginning of clarity. So I was just shouting on top of my lungs, and I was talking to God on my own. It's like, God, can you stop torturing me? I have done everything for you. I'm a good mom. I have done my responsibility toward my family. I have made a lot of people rich and famous. I do all but can you stop torturing me? Why you're giving me this feeling of that something is weird? And I asked why I could see the problem so clearly, yet I felt powerless to fix it. I couldn't. I wanted to do things, but I couldn't. Why I kept advising system I no longer believed in. I felt trapped. And for successful people or for perfectionists like me, it's very tough to feel trapped. Because one way you want to innovate and explore and learn, and one way you are framed with the system. And then it hit me, really. It really hit me. The problem wasn't the factory, it wasn't the people, it wasn't about the recycling. It was me, simply. It was me. Still standing on the side and still explaining instead of building. I was still on the other side of the boat, just being a follower. Follow the system, follow the rules, follow the policy, these are the policies, then okay, let's obey with them and implement them. And then I said, no, I want to be on the other side. I want to stop following, and I want to start building. Maybe other people can follow me. And then I said, God, please, can you stop torturing me and give me clarity, direction, and a sign? And then the next thing, what happens? I resign. I resign. I have no plan B, no safety, no straight into the unknown. And then I said later, okay, God, I asked you for clarity, but I didn't ask you to throw me in the unknown and in the deep end. It's like, what am I going to do now? I have no job, no security, no safety. I don't know what am I going to do. That's when I understood suddenly something important. When you ask not to follow, life gives you space and says, build. It's like, okay, you want to build? You want to go ahead, build. And this is how I started. I said, okay, let me start with something. And I didn't see the end of the tunnel. And until now, I still don't see the end of the tunnel in many in many areas, not in all the areas. So when I say I founded Kingdom Consult, I didn't create just a company. I actually created an entirely new business model. So I said to myself, okay, I'm going to build a consultancy company, but I'm not going to build any consultancy company like the one that are existing traditionally. No, I'm going to go more. So I'll be a hands-on consultant. We will offer holistic approach. It means an end-to-end consultancy, which take care of your strategy. So we do the talk, and then we do the walk. So we do the strategy, we offer for you the technology and the operation, and then we help you communicate it. So that was a new business model in the region, is to have consultant with implementation, which we never had that before. Not only I built the company, I chosen the most challenging topic service ever, which is sustainability and circular economy. The new green business that we say. So everything was new. The business model was new. The concept was new. The services were new. Even myself, I was very, kind of new to this path. We built a holistic approach, end-to-end model, combining all of this. Because I believed that strategy, technology, communication, and people move together. It's not separated. So you don't come to Kingdom Consult to be told what to do. We help you do it. And I place sustainability and circular economy and renewable energy, of course, at the core. It's not a trend, it's not a branding, it's a foundation. The choice came with higher risk and strong resistance. You don't believe how many times we get slapped, and my team slapped in the sens figuré, for how many times we are rejected daily, how many times we are told, oh, you're too small. Who's this company? Who are you? Oh, you're too diverse. You have to focus. We've criticizes the foundation of this company. Infinity. I was like, oh, you're too big, you're too small, you're too diverse, you're too not focused, you're too concentrated. You're bringing new technology, we don't know. Do you have a study case, a proof of, it's like, every day we are being rejected. But what I learned, and what I really teaching my team, and also the students that come as an interns to work with us, is like, no, we don't take a no for an answer. Not on my watch. Every time we get slapped, we will stand and we will continue. Because we believe in it. I chose not to be comfortable. And when I decided to build, nothing will stop. Not a no, not a CEO, not someone telling me you're too diverse, nothing. It looks, failure actually, it's very poetic. It looks like silence, unanswered emails, closed doors, not now. We hear this all the time. You go, sustainability is very expensive. No, we don't have the budget. Sustainability is too luxury. No, 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 it's not in our. So we hear this every day. So now, out of 10 meetings, we have 9 we are rejected. But do you think this will stop us? No, because we made a choice. Because I made the choice, and I am trying to convey this message to my team, which is very hard also for them to cope or keep up with me and my zillion ideas every day. But failure, for me, strips away illusion. When you fail, you really want to go back more powerful, more aggressive, more approaching. It sharpens your purpose. It forces you to decide whether you are building comfort or building something that matters. This is where I pause and say I really want to thank my team, my students, and those who stayed with me. And I'm not an easy person to really please or keep up with my beat. They call us the bullet company. So we're like, and then, so I would like to take this opportunity and really thank them. I would like also to thank the students that coming for internship, that they come and train with us. They leave, but they still come back. This is a very inspiring for us as we call it the Green Tribe, and the family is really getting bigger and bigger, because we're not only building people, we're not only building company, we're building people, and those people will do the change in the future. So built by choice, I hope I didn't take too much time of you and you didn't get bored. So built by choice is not about leaving the comfort. It's about choosing responsibility over convenience, humanity over ego, and choosing long-term impact over short-term applause. The future is not inherited by chance. It is intentionally built by those brave enough to choose. Thank you all.
Thank you, Katina, for sharing that perspective. Our next speaker, Noor Al Hassan, founder and CEO of Arabic AI and Tarjama AI, and a leading voice in Arabic language technology and AI across the region. Her topic is human-centered innovation, building by choice in the AI era, exploring how choosing people-first values over trends shapes responsible innovation, purposeful growth, and real impact in MENA. Please welcome Noor Al Hassan to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. This is my third talk today. My name is Noor Al Hassan. I'm the founder and CEO of Arabic.ai. I'm Jordanian. I've been in the language business for over 16 years now. I started originally a translation business out of Jordan and then relocated and have now 11 offices across the region. When I started, I remember my company, I tapped into women that are working from home, that are highly educated, and did not have an opportunity to find a full-time job. It was very difficult in the early days to basically hire women from home and tell them you can work remotely, flexibility, without actually, and that was before flexible work was a thing. The interesting part, when the early days I used to go to customers and I used to tell them, we provide you very high quality service. The feedback always, but you have women working from home. How do we make sure the quality is guaranteed? And until the clients start working with us and see the quality and basically delivering on time, everybody was like, this is really interesting. And flexible work was not even a thing. The moral of the story is when we originally started, we made sure that human, and we started originally with females, then we expanded obviously to focus mainly on translation and post-editing, because there's AI now in everything we do, and this is where Arabic.ai is all about, and I'll share a bit about it. Today, everybody talks about AI replacing human, and human taking over our jobs, and we'll be left without anything. When Tarjama started originally, and that's originally the name, Tarjama, started, translation was only human-centric, and then we introduced machine translation, and then softwares for translation. That did not take the jobs of the linguists, did not replace them. It actually increased their efficiency. We still use human in everything we do. Until today, models that we use every single day need a lot of human in the loop, need editing, and post-editing need to correct the models for hallucination. So we focused in everything we do to validate our data and deliverables to customers. Today, we have a network of 160,000 freelancers on our platform that do translation work, content generation, data creation, that train basically computer robotics, large language models, data labeling, Q&A sets with the models, making sure that the model is still basically viable. Fast forward in 2023, when large language models got launched, we all know, like, ChatGPT was out to public in March 2023. We knew that this is really a big step towards AI, and where does that leave us, right? It was a moment where we, as a business, felt there's disruption is coming and it's closer than ever. So how do we deal with it? It was one of two options. We either ride this wave and use AI to our advantage, or be left behind. When I launched Machine Translation Engine, I remember in 2016 for Tarjama, everybody said, you want to compete with Google Translate, you can't build Machine Translation Engine, why? You can leverage what's available, similar to the technology we built after software for translation. There's always self-doubt about this part of the world and this region. Can we innovate? Can we build something up to standard with global players? Can we actually build something that works for this region? Today we have already over 300 customers. We translate into multiple languages, including obviously Arabic and dialects and voice. Our model is leading leaderboards against all the models that are global. And that's back to having great human capabilities behind what we have built. Data and engineers that are from this part of the world that works on Arabic. We would have never been able to compete with global players if we did not have capabilities that come from this region. We understand our language and culture more than anyone. And this is really our vision in Arabic AI. We build for this region and from this region, and we cater mainly for our customers, for our culture, nuance in everything we do. And with that, until today, we still rely on human in every step we do. Innovation is tied to human, and AI can't work alone without human. Until today, even when you build an agent for a client to increase efficiency. It can't replace human beings. Until today, by the way, when they launched AI in 2023, the LLMs, they said 2 to 3 years, everybody will be jobless and everybody will sit at home, no one will have work, and we're gonna enjoy universal basic income, and look where we are today. Companies do increase efficiency, obviously. You will see a lot of people maybe lose their jobs in one place, move to another. And this is where we go back to skilling and reskilling. And we've been, like when Microsoft launched Excel, everybody thought accountants are gonna sit at home and their job is gonna be completely made redundant. But the tool helped so much that we enhance our creativity. We focus mainly on doing the creative part, the analytical thinking. Our brains, as human beings, have great capacity. We're not made to do tedious tasks, so we leverage technology to help us. And this is really what we do in Arabic AI. And this has been my vision, to focus on getting the human in this part of the world skilled in jobs, building innovation, and not only innovation, cutting edge innovation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Noor, for that powerful talk. Now, moving on, please welcome our next speaker, Amr Metwali, a Director of Healthcare Innovation, entrepreneur, and keynote speaker with over 20 years of experience in healthcare and digital transformation. His topic is "We don't rise to vision, we fall to our choices," exploring why progress depends on the choices leaders make under uncertainty, and how innovation only scales when decisions are backed by structure and ownership. Please welcome Amr Metwali to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I remember last time I catch cold was like 100 years ago, and the second time is today. So this is not my real voice. It's just when I get cold. I'm really honored to be here and to speak to you about my journey, which is very humble, but probably you can learn from. We love vision, all of us. I love vision. When you are in the middle of the room, you can say, I have vision, and basically everyone will think this is a smart man. This is know what actually he's speaking about. We love vision because vision is inspiring. But let me tell you one thing I learned. Things are not changed by vision. Things are changed by our choice we make, especially if it's uncomfortable. And this is something I learned. I start my life in a very relevant to the healthcare innovation. I start as a football player. So I was playing football, a young boy, 6 years old, I start. And until 19 years, I was playing football with only one dream, is to become a pro football player. Nothing more, nothing less. I like football because it's very systematic. In the court, there is no rule. There's all rules, right? I know my line, I know my formation, I know my position, I know how I actually play. And more important, I know how I win and how I lose, right? Because this is very important. And then I got injury, big injury back then, and I couldn't continue, and it was scared. It was scary because suddenly I moved to a different work, different area, where no rules, where no formation, no coach to tell me what to do, and it was scary. And I guess psychologists will tell you that scientifically, Humans are scared because of changes. But why is that? Because humans actually move in a pattern, in a groups. We are doing the same thing always. Even though that you think you are smarter than everyone else, you still actually get out of the crowd following a pattern. And because we do this every day, we are actually producing emotions. However, when things change, this emotion stopped. It's no longer produced. And we're scared, we panic, we don't know how to do that. And it's not only me that I felt scared. All humans with change, this is how they are actually producing, this is how they panic. Historically, it's the same. Trust me. We are all have been here. Every single generation believes that the next technology will be destroying something. Regardless, what is it? But it will be destroying something. 1876, Sir Graham Bell, he produced telephone. Suddenly, you don't have to ride horse to go and tell someone else that I love you or I need you, I'm invite you for dinner. However, New York Times, they thought that this is gonna be destroying the concert halls because people will be listening to the concerts through the phone. And we have to stop this killing for the concert hall. Not only that, 1895, there is a public medical warning by physician. They say that women are cycling, they will have permanent facial deformity. They even give it a name, physician name, medical name. It's bike faces. When you look for bike faces, you will see it. It's crazy, but this is true. 1954, we, first time in the history, discovered that luggage can be adding caster, and we can pull it rather than we carry it over, right? 30 years, and everyone failed to make this patent. No single luggage sold. This is the most ironic innovation business model. They even teach it in Harvard. And for simple reason, holding a bag is masculine thing. It's men's job. And women shouldn't be holding the bags. And men, I need to show my masculinity, so I will not do this. 1920, radio came on board, and people think that medical again, that it's actually kill animals, kids, and humans. Stop this killer. So we're here before. It's not the first thing. This is not the first time we hear this story. It's there, ages. And today, 2026, we do believe that AI will destroy human. We are not coming from nowhere. We are coming from ages and hundreds of years building on the same concept. Why is that? Because we failed to process our emotions. Something different happening. We don't understand. So I learned this. This is our normal human emotions. We shouldn't be feared from this. This is something we need to follow. And you need actually to make a choice to act outside your comfortable zone. This is what we are looking for. Another lesson is, I've been in delusion when I start working. Everything new for me was innovation. Everything disrupted is innovation. Everything with technology is innovation. But with years and with failing and failing and failing, I discovered this is not the case. In fact, Segway has been introduced in the market, raised millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and I got the chance to speak with the founder. And guess what? He thought that this is no new product will hit the world. And guess what? He is introducing this to make a revolution in the urban mobility. Means that instead of jogging every morning, you will get your Segway and go to the tour. Someone felt that. Not only this, someone believed in this vision and in fact invested $400 million. And discontinued at the end because innovation doesn't mean novelty. Google, we all like Google. Who can say Google, they don't know what they are doing, right? They introduced Google Glass. What's happened? Very expensive, amazing technology. Society refused, then discontinued. Just like that. So Google, they didn't know what they do. Other products, they choose to say that one blood can actually make a lot of tests. from only one single drop. And we end up to know that this is actually fraud. And she is in jail for 200 years maybe. So we understand, and I learned with time and failing and success, that actually innovation is not necessarily novelty, it's not technology, it's not disruption. Innovation is what we can actually call new things, technology, but more important that we know exactly what we are serving for. This is not new, this is not only human, by the way. We are actually, countries is behaving like that. This is a very sad story. This is Rwanda, 1994. And in fact, Rwanda, this is in this period of time, most of the scary African hunger or any bad images or photos you can see is most likely from Rwanda, what's happening there. Suddenly there is a civil war, 800,000 persons killed, 2 million left the country to the neighborhood, and it was disasters. In a situation like that, how you can describe, when I'm asking you, how you imagine a healthcare happening in this country in 10 years? And most likely you will call me crazy because there is absolutely, even after hundreds of years, a country like that, that it will come and we will have a solid healthcare plan or a system. But in fact, Rwanda did it. And not only that, their healthcare system become one of the most solid and technological healthcare system. Because very, very important thing, and this is another lesson I learned. When you are going in an innovation journey, you need to disclose or remove every emotional memory, or what we call in our world legacy. Legacy is biggest enemy for our innovation. And this is what Rwanda believes. They did not work based on their legacy, based on the memories, based on the emotional memory that all this country holds. In fact, they just redesigned the system, not preserve it. And this is how they end up today, one of the best countries in Africa. In fact, we call it Switzerland of Africa. So this is basically story of Rwanda. So countries behave like individuals. The next lesson I learned from India. And India is amazing language, by the way. It's very rich in vocab. As an example, I will tell you that I had a love story with someone. I fall in love. I go there, I engage with her, and I have some drama. Before the wedding, she discovers something. We split, but some power from God comes, and we become together again, and then we happily live never after, right? One Indian will tell me, yeah, this is jadab. Just one word. And my lesson, next one is from Jugad. Jugad means that you are actually innovation in a very constrained environment. You are solving a very, very necessary problems. Very improvised way, low income, no economy. And that's Jugad. This is innovation by itself, right? I didn't believe it. I asked many Indian, is it really means that? And they all say, yes, it is. So Jugad is amazing because this is another lesson I learned. Innovation doesn't need to be complex. Innovation is just simple. We need to solve the real problem. This is very important and more important than anything else. Because our job always is to have to simplify complex problem. My problem as a leader, as an innovation leader, to make the process boring. Not to come every day to introduce new things. This is wrong concept. And this is definitely against any innovation. Another lesson I learned is every innovation, they need 4 elements. And it has to be together, right? So basically, first one is the purpose. Everything has to serve a real purpose. Start with why, and not only one why. Go deep, go root cause analysis. Go for 5, 6, 7 whys until you reach the main reasons. You need to solve a real problem. Otherwise, trust me, it's worthless. Something I learn always when we design hospital, the main function of any hospital is to make patient away from the hospital. This is the purpose of the hospital. And if we follow this, we will create the right innovation that matters. Process. Ideas are easy. I can give you any ideas tomorrow. 100 ideas. If today I'm telling you, give me a solution, millions of ideas will be in the flow. But the thing is, execution is everything. You need system to test, to learn. You need system that fails. You design system to fail. You design system to mitigate. Because we are human. This is our job in life. We make mistakes. And then we say we are perfect. So this is definitely required, the process. People. Everything is about people, humans. This is us. Innovation lives or dies because mindset, trust, and talent. Who owns it, this innovation? Who actually you are serving? Who's your team? Who is buying in? This is very important. And last is the platform. I have to say here that technology is not innovation. Technology is a tool. And if you are using the right tool, you can scale it. How we can scale this idea, how we can make it common, how we can be part of the pattern so we can produce emotions and we are no longer resist it or push it back. Ironically, when someone asked me for innovation, we started with platform. We start with technology without having the other 3 B's in place. And this is crazy. And that's why main innovation, most of the innovation, they are actually failed. Leaving football was big change for me because football, they teach me how to perform in a system. And that's amazing because I do my job, I live as an athlete, I know what to do, what not to do, and then I go and everything makes sense. However, innovation, it teaches me that how to be forced to perform without even system exist. Without even vision in place, without even plan there, because this is our job. And that's my last message for you. We don't try to vision. Vision is inspiring, but it's not about everything. We move forward, we fall behind by the choice we make. Thank you.
Thank you, Amr, for that engaging talk. Now, to close tonight's program, please welcome our final speaker, Dr. Bushra Shammoud, investor and senior advisor at Transform VC, with a background spanning academia, venture capital, and government leadership. Her work focuses on advancing deep tech innovation while addressing global challenges such as climate change, public health, and youth employment. Her topic is Built by Choice, Reflections from Doha, where she reflects on leadership in complex environments and the intentional decisions that shape resilient futures. Now, please welcome Dr. Bushra to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hopefully, yes, you can hear me now. So, my name is Bushra, and I'm deeply kind of honored to be here in my personal capacity. And I'm honored to be here because of the title of today's session. I was immediately struck by the theme of today's TEDx because, in my opinion, Qatar embodies intentional leadership. Whenever I'm in Qatar, I feel energized and inspired because it's built by choice. So I thought I would share some reflections and things that I take with me in my day-to-day life from my experiences here. So, number one, the first lesson that I've learned here is to be strategic, think long-term, and don't chase the headlines. So, for example, Qatar in 2022 was the first Arab state to host the World Cup. In my mind, it blows my mind that a country of 3 million provided an opportunity for 1 billion viewers globally. You know, the metro was built from scratch, and the city design was done in a way where people could watch matches on the same day. And the lesson that I learned from that is to, number one, again, be strategic, think long term, and build quietly. The second lesson that I feel that I've learned from whenever I'm in Doha is that diversity is a strength. So I love walking the streets of Doha and hearing multiple accents and different languages. It always reminds me, I'm always, shocked that in such a small place that there's people call this their home from every single continent. And these people power the innovation in every single sector. So I would say lesson number 2 is be more like Qatar and build your teams, build diverse teams, because ultimately these diverse teams will help bring your ideas to the global world. The third lesson that I've learned whenever I'm here is that you need to embrace your identity. So, Qatar has essentially Qatar has the modernism has not erased its identity in its pursuit of modernity, and faith and futurism sit side by side. And there are so many examples of really great initiatives. So, for example, the fact that Qatar hosts about 14 centuries of Islamic civilization, or that it provides a home for modern Arab art to live and breathe, and also provides opportunities for others in the global south to provides opportunities for others in the global south to have a stage and show their art to others. So I learned from that, and I hope you all can learn from that, is that progressing does not mean losing yourself, it's becoming more of yourself. The fourth lesson that I've learned whenever I'm here is that the importance of collaboration and to build collaboratively and not in isolation. So if you think about it, I'm always stunned whenever I remember the fact that Qatar hosts so much mediation efforts and helps stop conflicts across South America, Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, hosting negotiations and facilitating humanitarian corridors. It's really inspiring that they create a space and a safe space for dialogue when that's hard. And it's a choice, right? It's a choice to try to stabilize a fractured world. So ultimately, with that choice, you get trust, and with that trust comes the fact that the Qatari institutions are now embedded in the global system. So Qatar Airways is one of the world's largest and most connected aviation hubs. And you also have Al Jazeera, which is one of the most influential media networks. Again, the reminder here is that to build bridges and not dialogue. So I take that with me every single day. And I think the fifth lesson that I've learned from my time here in Qatar is the importance of constantly keep on learning, and to also constantly try to stay at the edge of innovation. So I think a lot of you guys here are part of the education city. I'm always impressed whenever I come and visit it. It's because it's a full ecosystem, right? It's a full ecosystem, and they brought the best universities from all over the world here at the heart of the Middle East. And on top of that, there's about $1.4 billion, I always use pounds, of funding to promote things like ed tech, health tech, climate tech, precision medicine. It's really, really inspiring to be here. So the lesson, I think, is that we should be more like Qatar and remember in our day-to-day life to innovate and to keep on learning and to adopt this growth mindset. And finally, I think the lesson that I learned here is to maintain your values and always have a heart. So when I was visiting, I was really inspired to see Qatar Foundation and the Qatar charity, that they provide billions in funding to support the most marginalized. And it's really important. The lesson here is like in our day-to-day life is to always show up for others, because that's real leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bushra, for bringing a local lens to close tonight's programme. And that brings us to the end of tonight's TEDxCUQ Ulster University programme. We'll now invite each speaker back to the stage one by one for the memento presentation, followed by a group photo. To present our mementos, I call the President of City University Qatar, Professor Faris Gourassi Faris, to the stage. First, please welcome back Humaira Chowdhury. Humaira, please stay on stage, Humaira, just for the group photo at the end. Thank you. Next, Mr. Ibrahim Bakr. Ibrahim, please wait for a group photo at the end. Thank you. Next, Katina Ahayan. Sadly, Noor Al Hassan had to leave early to catch a flight, but following her, Amr Metwali. And finally, Dr. Bushra Shamut. Thank you. Now, speakers, please join us on stage for a quick group photo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a round of applause.
Thank
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of TEDxCUQ Ulster University at City University, Qatar. You're now invited to continue the conversation at our networking reception in the reception area. We look forward to seeing you there. Have a wonderful evening.